Howdy ho guys, welcome to another live play, and today we'll visit Winamax and simply fire some spin and goes, and to be precise, Expressos. Yep, let's start, maybe let's run a ladder. Let's go through tens to hundreds and yep, let's see what's going on. Let's say hi to local regs. Ship. Howdy guys. How you doing, Winamaxers? So meanwhile, obviously observing our opponents, noticing tendencies like min raise. This is also pretty important, because if we will encounter the same move from this guy, we don't need to be afraid that this is super strong, but maybe this guy just does it as he does it. As you can see, min raise again. So maybe there are min raises, min bets. Usually these guys just click one bet. So as you can see, this happened. We've got pretty nice situation, right? So min bet and min raise, happy. Pretty important note. 1 BB, there are actually missed flash draws. 1 BB, I'm totally okay with calling. It doesn't really affect our win rate, so I'm definitely going with that. Ace King, perfect hand to just go with triple barrel. 7 of diamonds, pretty shitty because big blind's range is full of diamonds. If he called the turn, there are 8s, but some of them just raise the flop or flash draws. So actually this diamond kind of sucks, to be honest. And I think it's one of the cards that I want to just give it up on the river. Sometimes he might just have even some missed open-enders or turn flash draws that we're ahead, so yeah. 8-4 definitely defending. Ace on the flop is always terrible, as there are plenty of them in bottom's range, but not giving up. Calling. Defending pretty wide versus this guy. If he min bets a lot, then we'll have perfect situations to throw him out of the pot. And I think I'll just fire min bet twice against him, like he does against people as well. Plenty of one-hole card draws that we could fold. So 8-4, we got a pretty big bet. I'll check call and check again. If he has an ace, definitely he will fire the river. If he has some queen 6, for instance, then I expect him not really to then we give him not really to call, but we give him a chance to fire the river. So yep, 1 BB, we raise the flop. I'm gonna raise the turn rivers. There are plenty of deuces, trees, some missed draws, so definitely going with it. Perfect river to put pressure. Calling a7. This guy gonna give us lots of simple and pleasant low variance game. So I don't really want to run some 3-bet shoves. I prefer just playing post flop with him. Okay, 5, plenty of mixed draws. Sounds like a cool river to check call. Okay. Queen 10, isolating. 2 broadways, definitely want to isolate and want to increase the size. 4.5, so pot gonna be 15 if we bet like that, and we're gonna have 13.5 in a stack. So it sounds like a cool sizing to bet and jump the turn to get max value from his draws. An 8, weaker 10. Definitely these are the situations that we want to play against this guy. If he bets, we want to cheaply draw here and there. And we want to value bet with big sizings. Okay, 1 BB, definitely raising with 2 pairs. Oh, ace 4, so this guy is extremely randomly sticky. Randomly sticky. Bluff catch versus raise with ace high. Open-ender, just checking. If he's extremely sticky, then definitely increasing the size of the topper. There are bricks like 8 or 9, but if we check, he might just bet 1BB, so I think firing again is definitely fine. Check calling open-ender. I prefer check calling because still there are plenty of flush draws that might just raise us. The same with the jack, the same with 4 or a 5. That's common among players, so I prefer just check calling. Pretty interesting. The guy bets the turn. Yes, there are flushes. This 3 is actually interesting. I mean, it doesn't really hit our range. It's kind of like we wouldn't jump with the ace, so might sound like we're turning something into a bluff. So maybe people could level themselves and go for a wider call. But yeah, fortunately flush, it was in his range, totally agree. But there were some 2 pairs, top pairs as well. So from time to time, if we value bet, especially with big sizes versus non-cupped range, we will fall against the top range, and that's totally fine. Okay, flipping. Flip for the good guys. Yep. Flip for the good guys. Okay. So we've got the 9 high board. So board where definitely we can expect lots of calls, but not that many floats. The 5 is a bit different, as I expect both 4, 5, 9 to bet, and some random 2 backdoors like Jack 7, Jack 10 won't call, so I think it's a perfect turn to check call. On the left, just jamming, not many 5s in big blinds range, so I definitely prefer getting max value. It went checks, not many queens in big blinds range. There could be some queen 8, queen 10, queen jacks, but definitely there are more 4s, maybe some ace highs, deuces, 5s. I'm up for betting. Queen 6, interesting that he hasn't floated the turn. It's pretty important that he skip turn float with queen high in position. Right, it's a perfect hand to just float turn barrel to fold our ace highs. You've got additional equity. Definitely a pretty nice hand to do it. So it's more of a passive tendency. Three-bet jamming, rejamming, queen 10, dead from the flop. Okie dokie, that was 25, so we can move up with the ladder and maybe fire 100. Let's see what's going on. Not stars here. Let's see what's going on. Who's here? Knock knock. Who's there? Arkansas. We got some notes already on the guy. Most likely I have played a few hands some time ago. I haven't played much recently on Winamax, so these notes might not be too up to date. Actually, 400 hands, pretty cool. Pretty nice equity, but I think if we bet the turn, our semi-bluff power might fold weaker draws, so definitely Jack 10, prefer just check calling. Queen 5, if with one spade, I would definitely continue. Without, I'll just give it up. Check call. Spades are in our range, but if we call like singular 1BB bet, there are definitely more of single pairs, and these might be easily people might try easily to fold us out of these single pairs. So I prefer just checking. Betting 1/4 with the plan to barrel, as we don't block backdoors, as the flop could be called with lots of high cards. Maybe even we could consider triple barreling. That might be also in Oh, interesting, but definitely looking at the HUD, what we have right now, information, the guy doesn't like folding the flop, he was folding a lot on the turn, so we can use this knowledge and fire bullets, especially that on the board our barreling range would be pretty merged, lots of ace highs, lots of pocket pairs, we have range advantage, so big blind definitely has more sevens than we have, but we have more ace highs and pocket pairs and so on, so he has polarization advantage, but we have general range advantage. Limped pot right, so bottom is more of a passive guy. Half pot to still get some calls from single pairs. But if you bet 2 or 3, I don't blame you for that. So if small blind jumps, I would fold. Because still there are 9-5 or 9-10 in their ranges, so. Okay. 10 BB bottom limp 5 for offsuit. A pretty important note when it comes to general game plan, right? Against these guys will definitely play 100% VPIP small blind versus big blind because they will not isolate us frequently enough. They will not float frequently enough if we check, or they will not basically try to bluff us out of the pot. Therefore, out of position will realize equity pretty often. So the guy called and he went to the showdown with the deuce. Nothing spectacular. In fact, this bottom pair could be easy to turn into a bluff as it's kind of bottom calling range. So there are guys that would not allow us to go to the showdown. So this is also the thing that the passive guys just play it slow. That's very good for us when it comes to playing against them and realizing equity. Right, so calling. At the same time, if we see someone limping 5 for offsuited on the flop, 5 on 10 blinds from the bottom, it definitely means that this guy won't really fold too much versus preflop min raises. So I'm definitely more for limping. Yeah, as you can see, he's so passive. He just 10 BB, he check back ace and all ace 8 offsuited. 10 BB, check back ace 8 offsuited. Super passive guy. So definitely limping 100%, right? You see that his ISO must be like 10%. Okay, king 7, perfect hand to call c-bet, and most likely we might think about calling barrels as his fold versus river probe is not too high, so his barrel for sure would continue lots of draws. So if we hit a gut shot, definitely we could do it. Check, check. Flop and turn sounds good to c-bet also, but if you look at his fold versus probe, fold versus check raise, not folding much. His delay is low, but we've got pretty red numbers here. Would he put delays here? Sounds like a 5 or something. Pot size bet. People don't bluff that much with pot size bet, but he shines a little bit. Maybe I'll call him. Okay, so he drags some shit like that to the river. Some ISO shoves, but definitely like 17 BB, it gets closer. We can easily limp jump this hand versus such ISO. What about the rest? So he has some raises, but at the same time he folds versus bottles. It means that he might be just fast playing the top of his range. So I don't mind betting. Okay, c-bet 64. Let's basically isolate our hand and see his reaction. We haven't been isolating much, right? So this ISO is pretty shitty. So I think we can fold some hands. 7-4 still some straight possibilities. So I don't mind limping. But if you start folding here at least a few hands just to see what's going on with the guy and to show him that hey, we don't play 100% VPIP, I think it might be pretty cool. Okay. Check, check, definitely ace-3, pretty cool hand to call the delay. We've got the ace high, so we're ahead if he decides to give up some semi-bluffs. In double check range, for sure, there are plenty of kings, but there are some 4s as well. Okay, so 9 deuce, folding. Queen deuce, we have equity, so we bet, but I don't want really to bluff. If he's passive, he could easily have a king here. and I definitely don't expect bluffs here. Goes check check, queen high definitely worth checking, because we can easily call the delay if he decides to give up. Check. Okay. Check check. Versus passive guy, we might just put our bluffs into delay, as I don't expect many delays with our cards. Okay, and passive guys who just open shoving hands ace key like ace king suited, because we want to get value right here, right? The guy might not be, as we have seen, he checked back ace 8, so if we min raise, I expect him to do similarly. And 9-3 just folding, right? We want to cut a little bit VPAP against guy with these tendencies, not bottling twice. Ace 6 definitely limp calling jumps. High fold versus bottle, high check raise. It might be that he raises deuces or fours here, so we might just check it. Let's check it twice. Okay, call the king. That's interesting, king of hearts. He hasn't decided to check raise, rather to call. I mean, that's good for us, obviously. We would have some hard times calling. Let's cut some VPIP. The bottom range doesn't really generate lots of EV anyway. Ace 7 suited, one of the hands we could 3-bet, we could call. I don't mind going with the 3-bet. 1 BB. Not so happy with calling, but still I think it's cool to do it. There could be some 6-3 weaker flush draws, and I think this not many okay, he could have these aces, but I think ace would battle. So actually we could fire this turn. If we fire the turn, we got to follow up the river, because still there are gotchas plus flush draws, pair plus flush draws, pair plus gotchas, no. But yeah, okay, tongue with definitely folding. Sounds like whether to like 4-5 or 2 pairs hit on the river or slow played flush from the flop. Definitely passive guy. Passive guys don't drag that much. Bluffs, and generally donk bet rivers are not that strong. Sorry, not that weak. People don't really bluff in that line. Okie dokie. Let's fire another one. So this is interesting. We don't want our guy to fold his gut shots or whatever. So I think 1 BB battle might be interesting, especially on shallow stack. There might be enough random hands. Kind of sucks. We've got a queen of diamonds, so there are less flushes. 8-5, 8-10 is here. I wonder how many bluffs are there, to be honest. This is his second down bet. He's been down betting before, but generally he has been using smaller sizing. This is close, to be honest. I think I might call, but it's not like very easy call. As you can see, it's pretty against guys like this. We got to be pretty careful when it comes to these moves. Okay, maybe we can run 250. Okay, no games. So I guess similarly on 500s. Let's fire 25 then. Or maybe 100 if it loads faster. No. Okie dokie, let's go. Let's go. 3x ISO. Fold. Rip of king. Still there are aces, but there are for sure 9s and 5s. I think it's a cool situation to gut shots 9s, random king highs. I think if we bet here, we would need to bet like 4. If we check, we can increase the size way more. and we could bet 3/4 unless the river is a 9. So most frequent card in small blinds check calling range. So I think I'll just throw it out, especially that still there are ace highs possible in his range. Bottom pair, backdoor flush draw, right? This is a like random guy. We can fire half pots, always cool. Check, check. This is not our card. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Sevens, right? So whether limp raising versus randoms, limp calling versus regs, or just raising versus anyone. I don't know the guy, so I'll just limp jam. Okay. Flippin', flippin'. Whoop. Maybe we can run the last one. Let's go down the ladder to tens. Okay, we got a gut shot, so board that doesn't really hit small blind. There are some stuff in that hits a big blind, but big blind doesn't attack this board too often, so we can easily use it as a triple barrel situation. Double backdoor on the turn, double gut shot, so definitely barreling. If the guy check called, obviously could be random 2 overcards, but could be some, 6/7s or ace-4, ace-3, whatever. Pair plus flush draw, perfect situation. 4 on 4 card, I'll just check. Not much value. We could bet to deny some equity, not to let ace of diamonds hit the river, but I think checking's fine as well. Floating ace on the turn sucks because it's definitely in small blind's range, so I'm not happy to barrel this card. Maybe he has this queen jack, queen 10 type of hands that he might just check and we'll get it. Not really. Okay. Queen jack suited, isolating. High second pair, no need to bet. The guy checks, so most likely we got the best hand, so we want to get some value from it. 6, 5, 7, 8, whatever, weaker jack, maybe some ace highs. Same on river. I wonder, do we have a jam value here? I doubt it. I think we should more target like 10 or 6, so I think 6 BB is the sizing. Okay, king deuce, so bottom link king deuce offsuited, check back, flop, topper. To Broadway, right? Sometimes people check with these top pairs, but that's not too frequent. For sure, we've got pretty nice value in this situation. Okay, so again, pretty passive tendencies. Yep. Pretty important note, if we meet this guy, we will have better idea how to play against him, what we can expect. Bottom limp, king deuce offsuited, and versus ISO. 2 pairs, I'll just check call to equity shift. If our opponent calls us with whatever high card, he's definitely flipping, so I prefer just check calling. It's interesting, this is not a turn where you would see bet or butter light. I think it's whether a straight flush from the flop, or I wonder how often someone would bet here, like king queen or ace queen with queen of hearts. I don't know the guy, but this is not a structure where people are too aggressive, so. One BB, Let's big blind call some ace highs and king highs, or maybe do some moves. Okay, ace high. So yeah, halving. Okie dokie, so we've got the first heads up against Mathilde. Definitely deuces and threes are in his range, and we've got a perfect triple bottle situation. Definitely not that many queens, more deuces and threes, so we want to triple it up and give him a chance to call it down with the bottom pairs. Lots of overcards, so I think this is a perfect hand to check raise. If the turn is an overcard, if we check, queen gonna bet, and lots of other air cards, I'm definitely up for check calling because we've got a 7 high flop is a perfect board against which you can battle. Okay, he just quickly checked, right? But maybe if the turn would be, if the river would be an 8 high, 8 or higher, we could expect wider battling frequency. Ace 9 checking, ace of clubs I prefer checking. If there's a club, you know, we could grab some ace highs flush draws that we check. Dealing with overbet, definitely all of 10s and 8s in big blinds range, so picking big bet. Oh, I see that my camera froze. I have no idea why, to be honest. Oh, wake up, wake up. Okay. Where? Maybe I'm a robot. Okay, jam obviously with the straight calling. Oh, the guy just decided to spaz. Always welcome to see this type of moves. Hey. Okie dokie. Oh, just jamming these two pairs. Plenty of misdraws in our range. I expect people to call white. But this was interesting. The guy who is passive, he just made a raise bluff on. Right, raise bluff versus 50% on 4 cards straight. So maybe I'll give him a warning that this guy definitely can show up with some weird stuff. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, my camera just died, guys. Small raise, definitely calling with the flush draw. Whoop. The guy checked, and if he check raise, sounds like some trap. Why would you ever check the turn? Check raise, flop, check turn. I think it's whether a misdraw that just missed or a 10 that's still playing, so I'll bet 1 BB. Yeah, that was enough. That was enough, guys. That was enough. 3.8, just calling 10 high. Check, check. So now the guy who was doing some raise bluffs, let's try to fold him from 10 and the jack. Maybe queen from time to time. We'll see. Okay, we picked that one. Let's now win the hand against Antul. Okay, it looks like I ate something. I mean, I took some pills, like some not pills maybe, but even some shrooms. What's going on, guys? Who invented that? Okay, that's interesting. Check called. Still, there are plenty of gut shots, so I'll use the small size. Previously, he raised versus half, so maybe small size might induce him into something. Okay, so now I'll just pick like 5-6 blinds to induce some, maybe not induce, but just max value from an 8. Right? We got a 7, we got a 6. It's almost like there's an 8 or a queen in his range. I doubt that there are many queens as he just check called, but still. Whoa, guys, I have no idea what to do with this camera. Whoa. What? That's weird. That's weird as fuck. No idea, to be honest. So you can use my violent. This is just violent strategy. Violent strategy, like reset or something. Checking the second pair. If he checks, then definitely going for 2 bets. There are some jacks and 10s to value bet, and definitely 9 and 6 in the second bottle. Going for a, maybe not a flip, but definitely for a call with 3s. Three nine, we've got 12, right? So the guy is not too aggressive. So maybe betting against him and barreling might not be the most efficient. 1 out of 5. Still, let's try. This board is pretty dry, so I think we can squeeze some fold equity. Let's go. No isolation, so definitely calling. Okay, and he just dunk with jams. That makes our life pretty easy. Okay, checking. To the showdown we go. Deuce is good? No. Okay, so the guy, maybe he gets boring. I don't know. So again, this board sounds cool for barreling as well. I mean, yeah, okay, he called, so definitely firing. Now you will not see my pretty face at the end of the session. So sad, Sage. Last flip of the day. And here we go. Okay guys, so yep, that was it. Quick but efficient session on Winamax from 10s to 100s. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, and see you on next. See you, at least at this moment, only hear you at next episodes on different stakes and on different poker rooms. And yeah, let me know what would you like to see and how did you like it. And yeah, you can tell me how are you and and stuff. Thanks for watching. Thanks for staying till the very end. Bye bye.